Welcome back to the second episode of the House of Horror. I know I'm a little late, but I'm sure you all can forgive me. Hopefully. This episode will be about Friday the 13th, my favorite horror franchise. Let's get into it. Jason Voorhees was born July 13th, 1946 on a Friday. His mother was Pamela, but his father was unknown as he was very abusive to the little Jason because he had hydrocephalus, a disease where Jason had so many fluids in his head that caused him to be malformed, and his father hated him for it. When Jason was old enough, his mom took him to Camp Crystal Lake, where she cooked for the campers over the summer. But one day, when Jason was unsupervised, the campers got to him and made fun of him. They chased him and pushed him off the dock, and he was presumed dead because he couldn't swim. Pamela came back in 1980, 23 years after her son drowned, and killed the counselors for revenge because they didn't save her child. She was killed by one of the counselors by decapitation. Parts 2 through 4 show Jason that somehow survived the lake and be camping out in the woods, surviving off of hunting and foraging. But he doesn't find his signature hockey mask until part 3. He wore a burlap sack with an eye hole cut out for part 2. In the final chapter, while in one of the cabins, he met a young Tommy Jarvis, who becomes the protagonist in the next few movies to come. He tricks Jason by shaving his head, confusing the Camp Crystal Lake killer. His sister, Trish, knocks off his mask with a machete to reveal the disgusting face underneath. She drops the machete in horror, and Tommy picks it up and lodges it into Jason's skull. He collapses, and Tommy continues to hack into his corpse. That was the end of Jason. Or was it? Years later, after he killed Jason, Tommy is haunted by what he did. I mean, he slashed up the slasher, so I could see how it could have that effect on somebody. He was admitted to a mental hospital, unfortunately close to Crystal Lake. There, a patient kills another with an axe because of his constant pestering. And don't forget, these are mental patients. They don't go lodging any axes into your sibling or anything because they're annoying you. It's not fun, speaking from personal experience. Anyways, our sweet boy Jason comes back to kill everyone in the facility, but when Jason is pushed off a farmhouse onto rows of spikes, the mask comes off to reveal the father the kid killed in the beginning. He sought revenge on the crew and patients, but he isn't Jason, so I really didn't like this movie. It has a really good soundtrack, man. Tommy is released from the hospital after a while and returns to the camp, now renamed Forest Green in an attempt to cover up its past. He finds Jason's grave and digs it up to try and break his curse of hallucinations. He brings the mask and stabs the corpse with a pike. Lightning strikes the pole and Jason returns. Maybe Jason Lives is fitting because that's the movie title. Anyways, Tommy runs and Jason is let free once more, now a revenant. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's pretty much a ghost with a thirst for revenge, but in a material form. Like a smart, bloodthirsty zombie. Of course, he was drawn back to the camp and starts killing once more. Tommy tried to warn people that they think he is hallucinating and even gets locked up. But they find out too late Jason is on the hunt again, revenging Mother Swears. Tommy is able to lure him out to the lake where he leaves a chain around Jason's neck and drowns him with a boulder. He is awoken with telekinetic powers in the next movie and continues another rampage. Starting to see a pattern here. This one happens to be my favorite, one part being what Jason wears in this one, and his bones showing because it's eaten away in the water. Tina Shepard, the girl with telekinetic powers, accidentally brings him back because she was forced to use her powers to the brink of chaos. In the final scene, he gets sent back to the lake by the spirit of her father. The last few I think are kind of desperate as Jason goes to Manhattan, is killed again, then goes to space. Then there's the remake. But Freddy vs. Jason is awesome, but I think I'm out of time and I can't cover it. Maybe in a later episode, but it is pretty self-explanatory. But I think Friday the 13th will go down in history as one of the greatest horror franchises in the world. The highest kill count of 198. And with that, I'll leave you all. Stay haunted.